5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi guys, you got some more from Zor. This is Kaz here from Cape Town. Trust you are doing well. Alright, listen, before we go on to the Tsuka alien build, I did two alterations, or I did one alteration on each of my previous builds, and that was specifically for this little guy, which I was using this holiday. For you do not know what this is one of the original granddaddies in the world of squonking, and this is the Rio. Another granddaddy is this guy, okay, which I'm also currently using. This is the copper vape. Okay, so yeah, decided to get these two little mechanicals out, clean them up a bit though, service them and use them. And what a delight. This one obviously hosting one of my top 3 squonking atties of all time, and I cannot wait to see what atty they bring out that's gonna knock this Hadley off my position number 1 for a squonking RDA. This thing is absolutely amazing, absolutely. Okay, this OL16, also a fantastic little 16mm RDA, but I wanted to build something special for this car because the room inside is very restricted, okay, the building space inside. So what I did is I took the staggered fused Clapton and I used ribbons to actually stagger. So if you look at this picture over here, then you will see exactly what I did. 38 gauge, which I actually used, and then I used a ribbon wire to create the spaces in between, and then I cut that spaced wire in two, put it next to one another, and then staggered it with ribbon wire. Okay, 2mm diameter, and this is the end product, which you see over here inside this little atty, and it vapes very nice. Look at those clouds, man. Flavor prima plus. So good, so good. The other build which I did is, if you look at my frame staple, that tutorial, you'll know exactly how to do a frame staple. But what I did instead, I used alien wire to do the framing. Alright, and then these are the pictures which you see over here. This is basically the result. So that can also be done. Okay, so you can also make a nice alien frame staple. Well, that flavors great. It also looks very nice, and remember, that is my first attempt, so you can actually put some more tension on your wires, get them closer together, and make a call where it even looks better than mine. Alright, so all you're going to need for your Tsuka alien build, I'm going to use 26 gauge, whatever you like, 24 gauge, 26 gauge. I'm a 28 gauge guy. Alright, so just that spool, and I'm going to use 0.4 ribbon. Okay, so this is I'm going to Clapton this, and then I'm going to stretch this, and then I'm going to alien it, and then you're going to get a Tsuka build. Alright, so these are the only two wire spools which you're going to need. So first thing which you need to do is get yourself three 28 gauge pieces and straighten them, and then we're going to use one of those pieces, just like we did the alien Clapton. Alright, or the tri-core alien, which I did exactly the same procedure. Instead of using 36 gauge, which we did there, we're just going to use 0.4 ribbons to Clapton, stretch, reverse direction, and then make an alien to give you that Tsuka effect. Alright. Alright guys, if you're new to coil building and you have just joined these tutorials and you don't know what I mean by when I want to straighten a piece of wire, what I normally just do is I take one of my ends and I make a little loop. Okay, just turn it a few times over there, and this part I insert inside my drill, the chuck. There you go, plain and simple. That little wire must run down at the center part to make life a bit more convenient. Take a plier, get a grip on the other side, and boom. Bob's your uncle. Okay, there you go. And then I just cut off on this end, and you have got a very nice straight piece. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these 28 gauge wires, and I'm actually going to clapton it with my ribbon wire. Alright, listen, if you wonder what I'm vaping, it's a little special juice which I made just for the summer because it was so nice and warm here. I call it Betty's Bay. I'll post a little recipe over there. But just remember, if you make these recipes which I post, they are for RDAs, whether you're squonking or dripping, but they're for RDAs. Because RDAs produce a lot more flavor, you do not have to have such a high concentration inside your liquids. Alright, so do not make these recipes and think that they're going to taste the same when you use an RDTA, so please, or an RTA. Alright, so I'm just throwing that out there because there's guys that made some of my recipes that say, it doesn't taste that potent and blah blah blah, but it's because I make for RDAs. Alright, so please get that in mind. So what we're going to use this little monkey nut, and then I'm going to use this little connector. And the reason why I'm going to use this little connector is because I'm going to use tri-core. I might as well use this little guy from the beginning. Alright, and obviously you're going to need a spring, and you're going to need your screw so that you can put your ribbon wire, which you're going to put on top of there. Alright, so the first thing which we're going to do is we are just going to run, you see our guide is inside, just put a 28 gauge through that, and then through our little straw, mount our little adapter. There's a swivel, and just push it through, okay, all the way to the back. Nice times. Then I'm going to take a piece of the 0.4 ribbon, and I'm just going to run it around the front side and then insert it inside the chuck portion of my drill. Alright, so that this guy can start claptoning. Alright, so you can very nicely see my ribbon wire, which is mounted inside my jig, or on top of my jig. I've got my 0.4 ribbon wire running through the bottom little hole which you see over there, and then I've attached it to the front of my 28 gauge, and I'm getting it ready to clapton. So this portion in front here, I'm going to put in front inside my chuck and secure it. So the back portion running, I'm going to secure inside my swivel on the other side. Alright, so the back part which has been secured inside my swivel, running all the way to the front, and then there you can see, and that's what the front portion looks like. Alright, so now I can actually pull this towards me, and there's some tension on my 28 gauge. This guy I'm going to move a bit closer. Okay, I'm just going to make sure to be able to move, and then we're going to start claptoning in this guy. Okay, just move it a bit closer. Alright, I think this piece is long enough. More than long enough. Okay, so you don't have to. You can make your nice short 20 centimeter piece. I just went a bit overboard over here and made a nice long section. Okay, just cut the side. Cut your ribbon off over there. Just to loosen it a bit though. Twist and shout, bobbity bop. Okay, and now the trick is to get this ribbon wire off your 28 gauge core. So here we've got a little piece of stretchy ribbon wire which I have just decored from our main one, and what we need to do is just give it a stretch again. Now as I said, what I enjoy doing is just grabbing hold on the one side with my plier and then stretching this little guy. Right, just like so. Okay, so next thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 320 28 gauge wires, and I'm going to run it through. Just want to get sides nice and even. Right, and then I'm going to run it through my guide. Alright, so 3 core wires running through the guide. The guide is inside this connector over here. You see our straw on the inside, and it is exiting at the back over there. So yeah, just make sure that these guys are nice next to one another, and then you can use a piece of glue again to actually keep these guys together, or you can use a little piece of wire and then strap it over on that side. I'll just use a piece of glue because I've got a piece of glue. Just a piece of glue to keep them nicely together. Sweet. That is how far I stretch my ribbon wire. Now I'm just going to attach a piece onto my ribbon wire. Okay, just remember to reverse the direction. Mine was on 1, and I'm going to put it on 2 now. It's nicely inside. And then the back portion, running at the back over there, I will secure inside my swivel, which is mounted at the back. Alright, listen guys, if you've done it correctly, this is the effect which you're supposed to get. Alright, requires a lot of patience though, as I said, but it's just something else you can do with the Daedalus if you feel you want to. Alright, so the success of this build has got a lot to do with tension. Your spool, your ribbon wire, which is on top. Initially, if you're going to clap in with your ribbon wire, this guy must not be too tight. If it's too tight, you're going to struggle to get to uncore your ribbon wire from your 28 gauge. Alright, and when you stretch your Clapton ribbon wire at the end, which you want to Tsuka with, or alien Tsuka with, as I said, do not overstretch. I find it a lot easier just to place my core wire in here and add it to my swivel, and then just taking the ribbon wire and Claptoning it with my hand and just following it along, because then I can apply the necessary tension and make sure that it's not too tight, and then it's very easier to decore afterwards. Alright, then you just stretch it, put your 3 cores together. You can use this little guy, it's no problem. Run it with your guide, your 28 gauge guide inside, and boom shakala, and then just reverse the direction as well. Cool. Hope you manage this build. This is Kaiser, over and out. Cheers.